The history of the monastery. The monastery of Broumov was founded by the Benedictines of Broumov, who came to the Broumov region in 1213 when Ottokar I of Bohemia donated the territory to the Benedictines. A wooden fortress was first erected in Broumov. Then, around 1305, it was rebuilt as a stone castle, and the Broumov's provost's office was established in one of the wings in 1322. The monastery acquired its present form after a fire that broke out in 1684, and the gradual reconstructions continued until 1733. The bold project was launched by an Italian architect, Martin Allio of Lowenthal, in the time of Abbot Thomas Sartorius. But the golden age of reconstruction came under Abbot Ottmar Daniel Zinke, when the project was taken over first by Christoph and then by Kilian Ignaz Dientzenhofer. There have always been close contacts between the Brevnov and Broumov monasteries. In those days, they brought about enormous spiritual, economic and political growth in the whole Broumov region. The darkest period of the monastery came in the 1950s, when it became an internment camp for monks and nuns evicted from all monasteries, which were closed by the totalitarian regime. The building suffered and eventually fell into complete disrepair. In the 1970s, the monastery also housed the archives of the Ministry of the Interior. Currently, the monastery is not inhabited by a monastic community, but is an independent entity, the Abbey of St. Wenceslas of Broumov. The monastery and its garden were designated a National Cultural Heritage Site in 1995 and extensively revitalized in 2014. Currently, the monastery houses the Broumov Educational and Cultural Centre, which organizes concerts, talks, exhibitions, training programs, and other events throughout the year. The guided tour. Broumov Monastery is open daily, all year round. The guided tour, which is available, takes in the most beautiful historic interiors, such as the library, the refectory, the sacristy, and the Church of St. Wojciech, St. Adalbert. The refectory. The refectory used to be the monks' dining room. At meal times, the dining brothers would keep complete silence, known as silencio. For practical communication, the Benedictine monks would use simple sign language in all their monasteries. The refectory of the Broumov Monastery is decorated with beautiful, sumptuous stuccos by Bernardo Spinetti, a major Baroque master of Italian origin, and the 3 ceiling frescoes depict the life of Christ. The exhibition also includes a collection of liturgical vestments, of which the most important part is a unique copy of the Shroud of Turin. The copy was found in 1999 in a wooden box above the chapel of the Holy Cross in the monastery church of St. Wojciech. There are about 40 similar historical copies in the world, but the Broumov copy is the only one in Central Europe, north of the Alps, and it is said to be one of the best. The canvas was donated by the Archbishop of Turin, Julius Caesar Bergiria, to the subsequent Archbishop of Prague, Matouš Ferdinand Sobek of Bielenberg in 1651, who later donated it to the Broumov Monastery during his lifetime. The library. The precious monastery library has been preserved and boasts 17,000 volumes that cover many different subjects: theology, philosophy, history and natural science, but also works by classical writers from all over the world. The books are written in a variety of languages, including Latin, Hebrew, French, German, Spanish and English. The frescoes that decorate the library are the work of Jan Karel Kovář. The classicist decoration of the library was commissioned by Abbot Jakob II Chmel, whose portrait hangs at the head of the entire gallery. The Church of St. Wojciech. The monastery church is dedicated to St. Wojciech, and it is of an impressive size. It is over 20 meters high and 49 meters long. The construction of the church took an incredible 4 years. After a fire which broke out in 1684, reconstruction was commissioned immediately. But by about 1688, only the rough construction had been completed. Several craftsmen were involved in building the church, including Martin Alio of Lowenthal. The author of the ceiling frescoes is Jan Jakub Stevens from Steinfels, a Czech master of Dutch origin. The frescoes depict the life and death of Saint Wojciech, a major Czech patron saint.